Today is the 30-year anniversary of the Dream Team.
Wow.
The one and only Dream Team winning the gold medal at the Olympics, 1992 Barcelona.
Wow.
This was the team. And by the way, for our young bucks out there that don't know, but before 1992, because 30 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these
Before
kids don't.
1992, they didn't allow NBA players to play in the Olympics. It was only college players.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1988, the United States of America lost to USSR, who, by the way, if you're a young buck, that's the Soviet Union. That was before Russia. That is now Russia. We got bronze. We had won 9 of the previous 11 golds in men's basketball. One of those years that we didn't even play. 1980, we did not show up to the Olympics.
Right.
So getting bronze, that was not acceptable.
Not at all.
The U.S. must be number one.
Of course.
In everything.
It's our sport, basketball.
It's our sport.
Also,
American
they were
football.
using grown men. You know, you had like 27-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds, and I think that was a little. People started to go, wait a second, this isn't really fair. So
For a while, our 18-year-olds were still better.
true.
Wow.
Until they weren't.
Until they weren't. So rules were changed, right?
I had to put our foot down.
They said, listen, we need the gold again. We got to get back on top of this Olympic men's basketball. And so the Dream Team was formed. And this was something that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. This was an Avengers-like squad, right? We had superheroes at every single position. It was Endgame. This wasn't, we weren't coming back. Thanos, the rings, we were taking them all.
We had Thanos.
We did. We had Thanos, and we had Iron Man, and we had the rest of the Avengers. I mean, this was things of legend. So the Dream Team: Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. Don't forget about the mailman. Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullin, and Christian Laettner. The only one who is not individually in the Basketball Hall of Fame. All the 11 are in the Hall of Fame. The whole team is in the Hall of Fame as one, and then 11 of the players are in the Hall of Fame as their own. 3 of the coaches are in the Hall of Fame. Head coach Chuck Daly, can't forget about that. And so this was Michael Jordan called one of their scrimmages the best game he was ever in. The final score was 40-36. We had
I love it.
Team White and Team Blue. It was Magic, Barkley, Robinson, Mullin, Laettner against Jordan, Bird, Malone, Ewing, and Pippen.
It's crazy. Could you imagine?
And, back in those days, they recorded those practices on, like cameras like this.
Handheld.
But imagine if we had today's technology. Obviously, they wouldn't have let the footage out. They probably would have still had closed practices.
Right.
But the footage, like we get Zapruder film of when the college guys went and played them and stomped them a little bit. Man, just imagine the footage that we'd have today of this, the 8K crispness of what those pickup games must have been like.
It would have been like LeBron at the Drew League. Like, think about how packed like the small practice gym would have been like. I mean, I love everything about the Dream Team. That's when I was like really starting to come of age as a basketball fan. I loved Michael Jordan growing up. Like, we all still wear his shoes, but yeah, it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years since the Dream Team. Like, it's crazy to think about. It's awesome. It was a great time. The documentary on NBA.com, NBA TV that they did about it is great. Great, a lot of great memories about watching all those games. Just beating everyone down by like 80 points.
Yeah, it's one. Steve,
like Angola wanting, wanting autographs in the middle of games. Like, didn't Barkley get in trouble? Didn't he like push one of those guys or something?
Like Barkley was beating everybody up. But it's just like, imagine this: you're just going to get beat up by somebody for 4 quarters of basketball, and then run up to them and ask for their wristband or their sneaker. It's just this team. There was really nothing in the history of sports quite like that team right there. I don't know.
Scored more than 100 points every game.
Yeah,
won every game like by 80,000 points.
And you guys
44
know that
actually, but
there's always, especially in basketball, people want to compare other dream teams to them, or try to put together a hypothetical team that could beat these guys. But man, you're right. That was the Avengers, the X-Men, the Defenders, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Alpha Flight all mixed together. The Fantastic Four, all of them. This team was the best.
You remember who the leading scorer was?
I believe it was Barkley, right?
Yeah. So you got a team with Jordan, Magic, and Bird. Charles Barkley.
I mean, I think sometimes people might forget because, like you said, it's been years and years. We had a discussion here. I remember it was either me, Adam, and Chris or something I read, and somebody was like, Luka Doncic is better than Charles Barkley. And I'm like, you know, you should really go back and do some research. Charles Barkley was a bad mother. Shut your mouth, man. Like, don't let the big guy you see on TV now fool you. Charles Barkley was that dude. Period.
I mean, 6'4" too, right?
Yeah.
And like
6'4",
a power forward.
14, 15, 16 boards a game, and he'd take it coast to coast and just people would bounce off of him like he was the juggernaut.
Legend. Amazing. Call in once again, 844-204-RICH. Who would you put on today's Dream Team?
Ooh.
We got options.
Now that's a fun question.
That's a great question.
We got options. Could they beat the 92 team?
All right, if we just look at, you mentioned like what would today's Dream Team be? Could they beat this Dream Team? All right, let's just look at the top 12 players in the All-NBA voting. Okay. Giannis, Luka, Joker, Booker, Tatum, Embiid, Ja, Durant, Curry, DeRozan, Kat, and LeBron.
They ain't beating that other team.
Does that beat the original Dream Team?
No way.
Wait, that's a dope team.
It's a good team, but they ain't winning.
Because you got to remember, you don't have an in the prime Larry Bird or an in their prime Magic Johnson either. Now, if you had everybody in their primes in the Dream Team, that team outside of LeBron, and he's a freak of nature anyway, everyone there is in their prime right now.